What's going on, everybody? This is me, Jerry Woods, live worldwide. Just want to come to you guys with a little small webinar. A lot of you already probably know so many things. I had a good talk with my consultant. She specialized in telecommunication with the military, and now she specialized in social media and social radio. She is the guru. She has somewhere around 500 to 600 plays off of Spreaker alone, which is phenomenal. But it's a lot of them out there doing the same thing, but they're just specifically music playing DJs. So they, when you're talking about the Hispanic population, they don't have no real FM, AM stations to go to, so they rely on internet radio to be able to broadcast it, be able to listen to, enjoy the type of music they want to enjoy from, through their culture. But what I want to talk about to you right now is us. We are black media right now. We are setting the pace. We are building the path. We're showing people how to do this thing. And I have found a few other networks out there, but a lot of them are not really powered the way we have set up our setup. Meaning, like, we're actually streaming you guys through Blog Talk Radio, which is a RSS feed that's set up inside Spreaker Radio, which is under my account, and it's powered in high definition. So you ever hear Blog Talk Radio on the line, it sounds like you're talking on the phone. You can't even tell a person is on a microphone or what. But what's happening now is Spreaker modifies and amplifies everything, so we get supreme quality. And that's what people seem to like. With the way the smartphones are built and Bluetooth headphones and people cars, Wi-Fi, people were able to enjoy quality music and quality talk radio these days. So the technology is really getting better, and people are starting to understand, and the prices are coming down. The main thing I want to talk with you today with this webinar is how do we monetize, or how do we get the most out of our social media network? Now, individually, a few of us have between 2,000, 5,000, and 10,000 followers on our Facebook pages. But some of those people are some of the same people on our Twitter. But a lot of times it's not, because I don't know who the heck those people are on Twitter. And then a lot of us are doing really a lot of communications and engagement on LinkedIn, which LinkedIn is a little more time consuming. But, if you're a business major, you understand the nature of social media. You're going to do what you got to do to connect with the right people. Because normally on Facebook and Twitter, you really know who you're connecting with half the time once you get out of your real friendly circle. But they're all potential listeners, and that's what we want. Kim and I had a chance to talk, and I ran across a lot of her. The main thing that we're finding out after talking to my guru consultant, she introduced me to a gentleman online, which we haven't really had a chance to connect, because he wanted to follow us. He wants us to carry our network. He's looking at 9 million listeners right now. And I asked her, well, how you measure those numbers? She said, well, you look at your network, which is you guys, and see how your social media platforms are set up with Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, Google, LinkedIn. The top ones. They're pretty much the top 6 right now. You're pretty much only probably sharing the same individuals within Google and Facebook, since they kind of closely, connected. But when you start looking at Twitter, Pinterest, and LinkedIn, those individuals are a little bit more separated. It's probably not too many duplicate names that you're following or following you. So when we start looking at some of the numbers, you're talking about someone who has 5,000, 10,000 followers on Facebook and Twitter. I'm finding some people have like close to 40,000, some of my friends. So when you look at some of the people following you with the numbers that they have on Twitter, when they're retweeting you, or they're liking whatever or following whatever you're saying, or when we post these shows, I post a lot of the shows on Twitter, and they just keep flowing. So then I notice our numbers are really getting hit hard on Spreaker, which means when someone go out to Spreaker Radio and they actually click to play to listen, we get a count for that. And the numbers is close to 60,000 right now, which is still a baby number compared to some people out there who have 400,000. But we're still in there with the big boys. So when people come into the live network on Spreaker Radio, they get this. They see everybody. You see our icon, and they can click and listen to the show. Getting back to how social media work, whenever we post a show to Facebook, Of course, people like it, but they said liking is not the end of all things. Them just seeing it and clicking and listening to the show, a lot of times Spreaker can't capture that. But, and Facebook don't always capture it neither. Because what happens is a lot of them are sharing the files within their family or friends, and then they're sharing it, and then they're sharing it, and they're not counting. We're in 150 groups, and they average 8,000 to 20,000 members. So, according to our estimate, it's a good chance that our social radio network could be between 12 and 14 million people. That's right. Let me say that again. Between 12 and 14 million. So that's who we have access to because of the way social media is set up. So with all that said, we're opening up the network, the channels now. We're going to start calling it. Before, you guys probably heard me say, oh, everybody has a landing page, which carries your photo, links to your website. People can find you. Anything you want on it, just send it to me and we'll post it. But right now, we're going to start calling it channels. So we're going to start building channels, because what's happening now, because we clean talk, clean music, clean radio, meaning gospel, jazz, and the content that you guys are talking about on your show, especially because we're current Bible study, we're current sermons, and I'm actually on tour on Sunday visiting churches, branding and marketing to the congregation and letting people see that this technology is real. And you're talking about almost 3 to 4 days a month. My son and I are going to be traveling to these churches, networking with the ministers and their young ministers and the senior pastors, which a lot of times they don't understand what's going on, but they're interested in knowing. A lot of the bigger churches right now are starting to hold conferences where they're inviting the first lady and the senior pastor so they can understand this new technology. A lot of these smaller churches and a lot of these, even some of the ministers within some of these larger churches, don't have access to terrestrial radio, meaning FM and AM radio. They don't even get an opportunity sometimes to even speak. So, of course, they just working in the church, probably doing a little outreach and counseling and stuff like that. But they want to speak. They want their own church. They want their platform. They got something to say. And a lot of times, those guys are pretty good. So, what we're doing is opening up our channels to the ministries, to the ministers, the evangelists, whatever they call themselves these days. It seems like right now, the floodgates are starting to open where God is really showing that he's about to take over and something big is about to happen. His army is forming. And the best way to do that is through communication, electronic communication. What better communication right now is internet. Okay, because mainstream is already dominated. Any church that has anything going on is probably on an AM station, and you can't even hear them half the time. And then you listen to people you don't know what they're talking about, and you're in your car and you're trying to focus on driving. But with the internet, you have the opportunity to take your smartphone goes everywhere you go. Apps are on everything now. You have new Windows versions coming out on PCs and Macs. And basically, the desktops on Windows 8 and 10 look exactly like your tablet, exactly like your smartphone, whether it's Android or iPhones. So when you look at it, you're familiar with the apps because that's what you downloaded. So it's pretty much it follows you through your Google account, Google Play, or if you're using the Apple technology. That's where it's going on. They just want to make sure they mirror everything you do because they want to make it easy for you. So with all that said, that means that a lot of people are going to be carrying podcast apps, to their favorite shows. So we already have an app for Jerry Rose Live, but it's only as an Android app right now. It's not an iPhone app. And we do have a lot of iPhone users according to our reports. So we will be looking at publishing ourselves on iTunes pretty soon, enable people to be able to download certain episodes. And we're still trying to figure out if it's a one-time thing you need to do, or do we need to publish it every show that's being published. So we'll find that out pretty soon. So you're open to establishing accounts yourself on iTunes and using that to push through Facebook, since a lot of people do use iPhones, and it makes it easy for them to find your show. And that's the whole key right now, is making it easy. Blog Talk is not that easy to locate. I only understand the app. When I go out looking for an app, I'm seeing all these other people with apps. It's like, well, where's the Blog Talk app? I just want to push Blog Talk icon, the app, open it up, and type in the person I want to listen to. And it just don't seem like it's that easy. At least it's not on my iPhone. It's not. And I even tried it on my Android devices. So anyway, the bottom line, the purpose of this webinar is that we have to start looking at how we're going to globalize, everything we do with every individual as part of this network. And what that means is when someone posts a show, or when you see a show post by Spreaker Radio on my timeline and I tag you guys, then that means we got to send that thing out. We got to share that file quickly, and maybe several times a day. It's okay. They said it's good. It's good to post twice a day. Maybe around lunchtime and maybe around dinner hours, because people are settling down. They're at the table. They want to pick their phone up because that's just what they do. And then they may want to listen to a good quality show. Right now, my habit is that I'm running music. I'm running Jam Vibes Radio first thing in the morning. It runs 5 hours. Usually it's over about 11:30, 12 o'clock. And then whatever was published by you guys through Blog Talk Radio, which automatically feeds into my queue, I build a playlist with that. And that's when they start hearing all the variety talk show now. The Curry Hines show, the morning hair radio show, runs almost 3 hours, I believe. And Tina Hobson's show runs pretty long, but she only publishes it on Fridays. And Elation Magazine with Kimmy Kim is pretty much every day. Sometimes she running 15, 30-minute shows. And her bigger shows, I think, is on Tuesday and Thursday. And then me and T has an hour-long show that runs on Thursday nights. And then I have my Tuesday and my Wednesday night shows. So that's pretty much what's running through the week. So, and then we pick up our gospel pretty much on Sundays once we get into the studio and we're ready to publish the service that we did. Most of those services run in between 2 and 3 hours. So we just got started last week, and right now it looks like people really wanted to know what we were doing there. They were really interested in knowing. After the pastor said that show was being streamed live, they definitely want to know what was going on. So you're talking about a good 200-300 people finding out about us offline, and now they're coming online. All right, y'all, so that's pretty much all it is. Just share your file. I was just thinking that maybe we can ask our family that's in our Facebook community to share the files, share the shows, because it's going to work for all of us eventually. Because one day when we be hitting a good 40-50 million people a day, a week, whatever the case may be, then that's when the big sponsors start coming to you. And you're talking about revenue sharing, monetizing, and right now we are looking at charging individual podcasters and the ministers a monthly fee to carry a channel. Now, Roku is busting on the scene, about to open up some channels, and I think they're for sale. Looks like I was offered an opportunity to be on Roku, and I'm looking forward to that in October with one of the ministries that's sponsoring us right now, which is Holy Mountain International Ministries. Okay? And I'd like to thank the Bellows for that opportunity. So, with all that said, guys, my brand new show, which I haven't had a chance to talk to you about, but it's called Behind the Pulpits, which is what I'm doing on Sundays, getting an opportunity to shoot the pastors on film, live service, and then go back behind in his chambers and have him give us a little piece on, about his message that was for the day and what he hopes to, what he hopes that people receive from that. So that's what we're doing, y'all. We globalized now, and I hope you got something out of this webinar. Of course, it's doggone 12:15. It was a pretty long day. This weekend is going to be phenomenal. I'm going to be live at Magoobies in Timonium, Maryland. I'm going to be R&B singer, which you heard this show. Gerald Pringle will be running. We're going to be doing a show, R&B show. This is going to be a little treat for our listeners. That's going to be Sunday night, and early that day I'm going to be at Truth and Life Family Worship Center in Baltimore with Pastor Daryl Ham, who's one of our podcasters. So we're hoping to get him on board soon so he can start doing some weekly Bible studies and some devotions for us on our site once we get him up to speed. and I will be chatting with him on Sunday. So we got to get the ball rolling, y'all. Get the ball rolling. All right, take care, y'all. Hope you enjoyed the webinar. Next time I'm going to start doing them a little early in the day. But, of course, tomorrow going to be a pretty busy day, so I'm not going to be able to get out and do any work here. I'm going to be out helping my wife with some things, and then we're going to the ball game after that. So, y'all have a great weekend. If you have any questions about what this webinar was about, because I know I was all over the place, but the bottom line is we just got to share our broadcasters within our networks, all of our networks, so we can start really getting the numbers we want. And I'm talking 30, 40, 50 million, because we have made connections with overseas. Our goal is to hit 150 countries. Right now, they're almost 20% of our listening audience from the United States. So let's do it, y'all. Let's do what we got to do. Let's keep podcasting, but at the same time, let's do a little bit of marketing, take advantage of our social media, and let's do what we got to do, y'all, and let's monetize what we do so well. Okay? All right, everybody. I'm Jerry Woods Live. I'm worldwide. Have a good weekend.